Good evening, one and all, and welcome to the Toon Review YouTube channel. It seems like we've been off for ages, even though we've just had one night off, Billy. It seems like a while since we were last on. But anyway, it is Fan Forum night, of course, where you get to come on and have your say on all things Newcastle United. And if you don't want to come on screen, then by all means take part in the chat. A lot to go through tonight. As usual, we've got the fantastic win at Fulham, of course, to celebrate, which I'm sure everybody has over the last few days. And, of course, a double win for Newcastle over the weekend with the Lasses as well, winning by 1-0 at Norton, which was a fantastic result for them. But we will cover them in our new show tomorrow night. How are the Lasses? It will start at 7. I've advertised it as 7:30, but it is 7 o'clock start, so I'll have to change the advert for that, but it will be at 7. Now, what that's going to be is basically we're going to talk about the women's football, the full team, the development team, look at the league tables, the results, the fixtures, and give it a bit of a promotion once a week, which I think is going to really help them, give them some more exposure. And it's something we've wanted to do for a long time. So and Danielle has been wanting to do it for a long time as well. So it's something we're going to be proud of. So that will be tomorrow. Show's booked up really for the rest of the week, but we've got some rabble waiting to come in, and rabble is the right word tonight, without a shadow of a doubt. Looking in the green room there, we have the usuals. But if Rachel's in the house, get ready, Rach. Just get ready is all I'm saying. But I mean, Billy, we before we bring them in, looking back at last weekend. Brilliant result, wasn't it? I mean, I'm still buzzing from it. And, of course, the fact that Callum Wilson has now signed an extension.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic 3 or 4 days for us, hasn't it? I mean, the extension for Callum Wilson is a fantastic thing, because in days gone past, someone of that injury kind of regularity that he has.
Indeed.
Mr. Ashley may well have been kind of thinking about letting him run his contract out and letting him go.
Yeah.
Or we're still trying to sell him.
Mm-hmm.
But these day and age, this day and age, the owners have got faith in him to kind of put that behind him.
Yeah.
And obviously, by giving him a new contract, it gives him a bit of, what's the word for him? Incentive to get himself properly in it. And, of course, got the World Cup to go for as well. But from a Newcastle point of view, I think it's a great thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got another 2 or 3 years now, which is brilliant. Because obviously, with the amount of football he's missed, probably not reached his peak yet, even though he's 30.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's just keeping him fit. I mean, it really is just keeping him fit. It's bizarre. It really is. We've got some comments just before we bring the guests in. Steve says, good evening, everyone. Players to go in January for me are Murphy, Lewis, Ritchie, Wood. To arrive, he's going with Hendrick, Madison, Kone, and then we'll get into Europe. James says, I think it's a must to get Madison. He wants to see his free kick yesterday. He was awesome yesterday, wasn't he?
It's been fantastic all season. It's been a poor side, hasn't he? Let's be perfectly honest about it. Yeah, it'd be great signing for us. If we can manage to give them the money they want for him, I think it'd be a fantastic signing for us.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Jill says, a very good evening. Welcome to the show. All opinions are welcome. Just keep it respectful. And as usual, click the like button and subscribe. Yeah, so if you do enjoy tonight's show, hit that like button for us. And if you're new to it and you like what you see on this channel, please do hit that subscribe button. It is free to do so. Remember, you don't have to pay any subscription fees. And you can also hit that notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any videos. But you can become a member of the Toon Review if you do wish. Hit that join button just underneath the video. And if you want to donate to the channel tonight, as usual, just hit that $sign at the bottom of the live comments, and it will take you through that way. So thank you in advance for that. Right. Current score from Anfield is Liverpool 1, Rangers 0. Now, I see the Rangers fans have, I don't know whether to laugh at this or not, Billy, defaced the Jurgen Klopp mural.
Yeah, I mean, I've got no real comment to make about it. I mean, he looked defaced while they defaced it.
Yeah, I think it was used as a scarecrow to keep people out of Liverpool. Just putting a big mural of those big gnashes on the side of somebody. It's on the side of somebody's house as well. You know what I mean? Just bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Carlos, good evening. Michael, good evening. Spider from South Africa. Hope you're well, mate. Carl, good evening. Gary, Pilo Keith, Chesry also in the house. the usual message to everyone. Ken says, hi, Paul and Billy and TDR family. Welcome back. Missed my Toon review fix last night. So looking forward to another Manic Fan Forum and a good show for all. Samsonite Dove is in the house. Good evening to you. Rachel's here, so she will see. Spike says, evening, TDR family. Looking forward to another good show. Good evening to Gareth. Evening, team. Hope everyone's well. Barbara says, good evening, Paul and Billy. Can't wait for Saturday. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll put on another display. That's what we need to do. Ready and waiting another good night. Hope you're all well from up there. 1. Tony says, we are at T3. What are plans for T-Day Canorama? Well, we've got a show, 8 o'clock Friday night. It is the TDR Friday, the anniversary special. So we're just basically going to be looking back at the past year at Newcastle United, what it was like on the actual takeover or the night before as well. And it's going to be a fantastic show, just a celebratory show, really, to celebrate us, well, where we've come from in 12 months. So it's absolutely fantastic. So we're very much looking forward to that as well. But plenty shows to come before then, of course. So let's bring in the rabble. We have, ladies and gentlemen, the Puerto Rican prince. It is Javier Ruiz. We have the king of Qatar, Roy Caviani.
How you doing, mate? How you doing, lads?
We have the French-Canadian wonder horse, Ryan Hume.
Bonjour.
We have the Bristol banger, Annie. We have Dr. Spoons himself, Ian.
Yari.
And finally, we have the man who has yet to find out what it's like to make love to a woman, Chippers.
Oi, Savile always.
How are we all doing, gentlemen?
All right, mate.
Good. Cheers.
Good. Roy, we'll start with you. Satisfactory performance over the weekend?
Over the moon. I was worried before the game when I saw the lineup, but then it took 5 minutes, and then I thought, that's it, we're done. Once it was 2-0 up, and I thought, job done here. And it was a professional as well from the lads up to the 60th minute before the changes happened. And, but yeah, great performance. I know you've seen all the Fulham fans on Twitter whinging and if it wasn't for the red card, we would have won. But I think we hit the
post. How exactly did they know that? The red card was 7 minutes into the game. How on earth are they supposed to know whether they would have won a game or not? It's mental.
Yeah. But we hit the post, I think, before the red card as well.
Roy, if you want to hear opinions on opposition fans, you go on Reddit, because those are like the ones that actually give paragraph information of what it was like for their team. And like I saw some good points, like a lot of things like Chalobah's an idiot. Why did we buy him? Like the game was chalked from minute 1, stuff like that.
Look, Chalobah, Fulham have only got themselves to blame with the fact that Chalobah, decides after 7 minutes to go and make a tackle like that. Sending off all day long, no matter what. I don't care what anybody says. It's just the way it is. Good evening to Mrs. Toon Review from behind the curtain. Let's have a look. Everyone's saying hello to each other. Ab says, hoping for more positivity towards Howe this week. Well, we've always been positive about Eddie Howe.
We criticised him at the Bournemouth game where he refused to be. He was steadfast in what he was doing.
Yeah, it was constructive criticism, though. Wasn't
it was. Yeah, it wasn't saying he should be sacked or anything like that. But he just refused to go to try something different.
Yeah,
we're going to criticise that all day. When you're drawing against a team that you think you should be beating, it's going to happen every time it happens. But I don't think it'll happen again. He's clever enough to learn from his mistakes, and I hope we see something different this weekend.
Francisco, obviously, when the team came out, we were all very, very wary of it. I mean, obviously, I didn't do the watch along at the weekend with moving house, but I obviously checked the phone at 2 o'clock and saw the team, and I thought, oh my God, what is he doing? Is it about time now that we stopped doing that as fans and maybe just went with Eddie Howe and what he believes in? Because this happens so often, doesn't it? When the teams are released and all the Newcastle fans are in sudden uproar about what team lineup is, and we're going to get hammered. We're not even going to compete, and then we go and do that.
Well, yeah, I think we were all a bit skeptical, except for Danielle and Alex, apparently. But besides that, I don't think anybody. I think the majority of us trust Burn to be on the left-hand side. I think he's proven that he's good. So that I don't think that was a worry. I think everybody was caught up by the surprise that Joe wasn't there and that Murphy was actually starting. So I think that's the one that threw everybody off their rails. But yes, look, there has been too many ups and downs within the team itself, injuries, illness, etc. And I think you've mentioned it several times before. We can have whatever opinions we want, but we don't know what goes on inside. Howe is the one that knows his team, knows what's going on in practice, knows what he can get out of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll always be skeptical and have our own opinion. That's part of being a fan. But, and how we trust. That has to be our motto.
By the way, I got your emails, mate. They came through at about 10 minutes before the show was to start. So I will put them into action, matey. But thank you very much for doing them. Francisco has done a fan forum intro. And
I took some liberties with that one. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I haven't actually listened to them yet because obviously I was prepping the show, and then but I will listen to them and have a good laugh, no doubt, at how good they are again. Ryan, were you pleased, or were you very sort of skeptical when the team came out at 2:00? Well, not your time, obviously, but an hour before the game. Your mic's off, bud.
The biggest thing at the time was what's it called? Dan Burn at left back. I was like, oh no. Like we had 3 left backs on the bench. Don't get me wrong, I think he played well, but I'd rather have an actual left back in the future be playing. But you could kind of see why, like Eddie Howe sees him every day.
Yep.
He knows what his qualities are. And other than that, like people were like Francisco said, Jacob Murphy, like starting, like it wasn't a surprise to me because without ASM, like it's going to be rotational. Like Freezer Murphy, without ASM, haven't done enough to even cement a place. That's why when ASM comes back, he's straightened the team, no doubt. But yeah, the whole game, well, kind of Brentford vibes a bit last season. Red card early, a London away game. So, but I was kind of nervous when we got the red card that maybe we wouldn't take our chances. But when I had that opinion, like a few minutes later, we scored and it's like open the floodgates kind of scenario. And that's what it was. Like it was just a total annihilation. And I'm glad we got the 3 points because it seems like we're picking off where fans think we should have left off based off unlucky things like VAR, chances not going away, games that we should have won, the 2 home games at Palace and Bournemouth. But yeah, I'm pleased, and Brentford and then Man United after, so can't wait for those two.
I mean, look, I'm not frightened about Man United at all. Annie, good evening.
Evening. How we doing?
Was life in Bristol?
Not bad. Just in the middle of a game, so you know, very, very enthralled by the conversations going on. But yeah.
What do you mean enthralled?
No, just very focused on the conversations that are going on.
I see. We have Sammy. Thank you very much for your 1999 Saudi Arabian Real, mate. Very, very kind. Thank you so much. Dan Burn on the left means more freedom for Trippier to attack, says Sammy. I happen to agree with that. I think Trippier had acres of space, but that was probably down to the fact that they had 10 men. I don't think he would have had that space had the sending off not happened. But look, we played really well. I mean, you know, you get a lot of people saying, you know, when you go down to 10 men in a football match, it's harder because it's harder to break down the 10 men because they're very defensive. But Ian, the way we played on Saturday, we made it look easy, didn't we? We dominated that game.
Yeah, dominated it from even before the sending off, and potentially they should have had another one anyway, shouldn't they? On the foul on Willett was naughty, like. But yeah, we absolutely smashed them. I think we would have comfortably won the game anyway. Just looking at the first, whatever it was, 7 minutes, you know, we were all over them anyway. I think we would have just gone on to win the game. The big shock for me, well, you probably know what I'm going to say, Paul. Anyway, was the Murphy starting and not Anderson.
Yeah.
Well, I was like still, even though Murphy actually did really well. I thought, 7 out of 10, best performance of the season for him, definitely, or since the takeover, probably, to be honest. But I still just wish that he'd give Anderson the start, because I think given 70, 80, 90 minutes, he'll definitely put a marker on whatever position they play him in, whether it's on the left or in the middle, sort of in the number 8, number 10 position, even if they decide to push one forward. But anyway, but it was a brilliant performance. No negativity on it. It was, it was mint, wasn't it?
Yeah. Chippers, just looking at that comment there about dodging a massive bullet with Jesse Lingard. I think we have. And considering all the rigmarole in January regarding Lingard, he just doesn't look interested in football anymore, does he?
No, I think it's quite obvious to see he's went there for the dollar, isn't it? For the money in the back pocket for his pay slip on a Friday. And it's just, it proves it right that these people know what they're doing and we should trust them. And everybody who's flagged them off for the lack of business and the fact that we may have not signed players, just look, I mean, Forest have signed 20-odd players this summer. That might be the reason they go down, because they've just thought, there you go, get yourselves on with it, rather than sign players for the right areas. And if you look at what we're doing, we're signing the right type of players in the right positions that we need. We're not just, sticking a bunch of players together and dropping a football and saying, there you go, because it looks like that's what they're doing. And again, I must admit, on Saturday I did the people's eyebrow a bit and thought, what's Jacob Murphy doing playing and Joe Linton on the bench? But I thought, but you know what, it paid off. And as Ryan said, it was like a Brentford moment where early red card and we just strolled the game. And I think as well, we obviously worked on with set pieces, because we managed to do stuff like with set pieces was a lot better. And I mean, I don't know how on earth they let Botman unmarked for the third goal. They left him unmarked, because if they'd been watching our games recently, he's likely from scoring from every set piece he's been on the end of. So
he's dominant.
And again, I just think again it was a completely dominant performance, and I think the fact that we scored 4 goals will do them the world of good, because I think Throm was due a pasting the way we've been playing, and hopefully now we can kick on again and get 3 more on Saturday.
Definitely. Rohan, good evening. Long time no see.
Good evening. Yeah, just never had the time really to.
You're very, very quiet, mate.
Am I? Can you hear me better now?
That's better. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What did you think of Saturday?
I was hoping for a win, but honestly, I was expecting us to draw again, given being away from home and Fulham actually being decent. But obviously, they've risked Mitro by playing him, and looks like they're going to lose him, which is kind of like the thing that Eddie doesn't want to do. He doesn't want to throw in a Maxi when he's not 100% fit, and then he'll be out for a couple months. But yeah, the team was very confusing when I first saw it. But I've been proven wrong many times by Eddie, so I've got to the point where I'll just trust his team selection and just presume that he's done it for the right reasons or whatever reasons. Obviously, Joe Linton didn't train, so that's obviously why he didn't.
I mean, we found out that there was an illness, wasn't it, going through the camp? So that's probably why. Jack, great to see Miggy on the score sheet, but it's consistency now, banging a few more goals. He's been excellent actually this season, I think, Miggy. Just not having the right foot, which we know about, but apart from that, the guy is playing so well at the minute.
He's got a lot of confidence in him, and I'm glad, because with that confidence he can be a quality player.
I don't think your main mic's on, Jack.
Ooh.
Sounds just like your computer mic, that.
Is that better?
That is.
Yeah. I think Miggy's got just a lot of confidence in him. And a good preseason with Eddie Howe has done him really good, and you can see him, for example, against Benfica. He was outstanding. And to say that he's not playing in the right position and we thought he'd be better in another position, he's proved us wrong really by Just he could have got a hat trick. I mean, if he just timed his run by a few seconds.
Yeah, it was a shame, wasn't it? It would have
easy hat trick.
Yeah.
But we could have scored way more goals. We had a lot of offsides, but I was expecting a draw in that game, if I'm being honest, from the starting 11. But they proved me wrong. But Miggy could be an outstanding player, and he's shown to us on Saturday. Yeah, Fulham had a red card. Yeah, Fulham lost Mitrovic, but you can't just say Newcastle didn't play brilliant football on Saturday, because we really did show Fulham what the Premier League's all about and how good we can be.
Tampa Toon, thank you for your $10 super chat. Finally able to catch a live show again. Welcome back, mate. Billy, there's been a lot of stuff said about Mitro in the last couple of days that he just he doesn't fancy it against Newcastle. He doesn't want to be involved. I mean, he was very quiet, I have to say. Very quiet when he was on the pitch. But whether that was the injury, I don't know. But do you read anything into that?
I mean, Saturday looked totally disinterested, but he wasn't on his own. Kazawa, the left back, was the same. Tim Ream was the same. 4 or 5 of them actually had no interest of getting involved in the game at all. But Mitrovic, like you say, is every time he plays against us, not done a stitch, has he? I know we all know he's a Newcastle United supporter, but professionals generally don't do that kind of thing. But I think he saw the way the game was going and got off as quick as he could.
Yeah, he sort of limped his way back. Roy, we didn't see your best mate Chris Wood come on the pitch, though, did we?
No, thank God. Now, I don't think we needed him anyway. I was happy with Wilson and the other 4 players. The 4 that Eddie Howe didn't buy, the old Steve Bruce players. Every single one of them looked miles better than he did last year. Willock, Longstaff, even Murphy and Almiron. Every single one of these players looks 100 times better than they did last year. So that all goes down to Eddie Howe and what he does in training every day, which is opposite of the cabbage heat.
Yeah. I mean, does anybody hear a buzzing?
Yeah, somewhere.
It's like fax machine or something going off.
It sounds like a fax machine. Yeah. I've muted everyone. I can't.
I think it's Jack.
It might be me, because I can't hear it.
Yeah, it is. I just muted you and it went off.
Oh, it's gone now.
Yeah, because he's turned his mic off. He'll sort it, don't worry. Just a bit of interference on the mic. Foxy, good evening. Steve says Longstaff as a 6 to release Willock and Bruno worked great. I don't think anybody actually played in a 6 role. We spoke about this the other night, Billy, on the review show that and on Sunday night, that we just didn't think that there was a 6 played because they didn't need to play a 6, did they?
Yeah.
Not against the 10. Before the sending off, they kind of swapped and changed, didn't they, Bruno and Longstaff?
Yeah.
Depending on who's closest to the ball. But after the sending off, it didn't matter, did it? We didn't need a defensive midfield player in there, so they all kind of pushed up 10 yards, didn't they? So, which was great. Which wouldn't have happened in the previous manager for certain. He'd have probably pushed someone back.
Yeah, well, true. Godfather says, hello, fan forum. Did anyone get to watch the Fulham game again? And could someone explain why it took 4 minutes for our first goal to be confirmed?
Yeah,
that was bizarre for me. 4 minutes.
They took longer looking at that than the red card.
Yeah, it was pathetic.
And there was miles on side as well. Both players involved miles on side, so I don't know what Matt Dean was doing.
Yeah.
You know what's hilarious? Like, after the goal, they had like at least 30 seconds to a minute to decide if it's a goal or not. How does it take longer than that? Like, come on, man. Like, holy shit.
Well, the cynical side of me would say it's Mike Dean, and he's looking for a way to cancel the goal out.
Yeah. I thought Wilson was offside, to be honest. When I first saw it, I thought Wilson might be
that's
offside.
what I thought.
It was only the fans that appealed for the offside, not even the actual defenders appealed for that, though. It was only the fans.
Yeah.
I think it might have went in anyway without Wilson touching it as well.
Yeah.
Annie, obviously looking in from a Bristol City fan point of view, what do you think of Miggy's goal?
What, the outside, the volley one, where Bruno gave him
I'm not talking about the tapping, Annie, am I?
No, it's tapping.
Come on, mate. You know how that goal was.
Class. It was really good. Like, the commentator on the highlights said he looked surprised, and frankly, I don't think he quite meant it, but still ridiculous.
What? Whoa!
He didn't mean it. He hit it with his
No, he did. No. What I meant was he did mean it, but it looked like he didn't mean it. He did mean it.
Annie,
if that makes any
Next will
sense.
be saying Mo Diarmi didn't mean it when he clearly did.
Well, yeah, Mo Diarmi's little left foot flick at Brighton. That was a tremendous goal.
He meant that.
But it was
Annie,
a really good goal.
That goal all the way.
Really good goal.
Milligan.
But
go on.
But the ball from Guimaraes to chip it over, at first I thought that's too heavy, and then it just glides over the top. It's a really good ball from Guimaraes as well. So yeah, both of them brilliant for that goal.
Well, Annie, there is only one Bruno in the Premier League. I'm afraid. That's just how it is.
Well, that's not correct, but okay, sure.
Well, it is. Oh, so you say Bruno Fernandes is as good as Bruno Guimaraes?
I mean, they play in different positions. So
no, answer the question, Annie.
They play in different positions.
Well, do they?
Who do you have in
Bruno Fernandes plays as a 10. Guimaraes plays as not as a 10, but he does get forward. He's not as a 10.
He plays literally as a 10 when Shelby's in the side.
Yeah. But who would you have in your team?
Bruno's been terrible. Bruno at Man United has been terrible for a long time now. And even the fans are starting to get on his back, which I find quite funny because I can't stand the little rat. Spike Milligan, thank you very much for your £10 super chat. Continued support of the channel. Did anyone have a bad game, Ian?
All their players, pretty much.
Yeah,
but not for Newcastle. I would say, obviously, Pope was quiet because he had nothing to do, so you couldn't really score him more than a 7, could you? He just did what he had to do, and Murphy wasn't amazing. But I actually thought, like I said before, I thought Murphy did all right. At least he opened him up a little bit. He's quick, and he has got a shot on him. He just likes hitting the post or missing. That's the problem. But no, I don't actually think anybody had a bad game.
I think they all played well. I really do. Yeah. Look, Murphy, we know isn't going to be as good as the future Newcastle United. We know that. Yeah. But the performance was there. He played okay. Now, whether that was because again Fulham were 10 men, but people were suggesting that we go for Mbabu in the summer, or dare I say Loddy as well at Nottingham Forest. They just look absolutely abysmal right now. Of course, Mbabu was hauled off at half time. Because, well, basically he was having a shocker. And if you're having a shocker against Jacob Murphy, you damn well know you're having a bad game.
I think anyone that we go from now on is going to be a massive upgrade on what we have. I don't think we'll be going for any sort of, also runs. I think, literally, if we're bringing players in, it will be a Madison, it will be a Diaby, it will be someone who's a real upgrade. And then with players like Miggy, Anderson, they will probably be featuring off the bench. But imagine Miggy coming on, like charging around like a little ferret. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It'd be great off the bench as well, and there'll be plenty of games hopefully going forward, cup games, Europe if we get there fairly soon. That he can get involved in. So that's I don't think players like that are going to feature from now on.
Mm-hmm.
Paul, quite frankly. And Mbabu has been, every time he's played for Fulham, I've just read fans saying he's been abysmal every time.
I have as well.
It's not like it's one bad game. He's been, basically every time he's come on the pitch, he's not looked good for Fulham. So, I don't know, probably not their starting right back.
He should have been sent off. No doubt about it, in my mind. Can't come on the pitch and pretend to be Bruce Lee and get away with it, in my opinion.
I didn't see that challenge because my thing weren't working.
Horrendous challenge.
Scissored money.
Oh, terrible, but there you go. Michael Marsden, thank you very much for your 20 quid super chat, matey. Thank you so much again. And we have $5 in from Seattle Geordie. Annie is a denier or a denier. What is the crap about Michael Owen all about today? Great show as always. Well, Michael Owen, I'm not going to give him any airtime because he's just a bellend.
And he's a what?
And he's a
denier.
Oh, a denier.
Deny.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
But 10 year, what the hell's that?
Jason. You were Jason, mate.
I thought it was French. Never mind. Like Denier. Oh, Denier. Jordy Paul says, do you think Pope should have come for that ball? No, I don't, because I fully expected that Pope, the same as me, thought that Jamal Lewis was going to deal with that. But for some reason, Jamal Lewis just started watching the Fulham player all the way to nod it in the back of the net. It was poor marking from him. You what, Jack?
Cross shouldn't have came in. Jamal Lascelles should have absolutely closed him down like Shah or Botman would have. But no, it's Lascelles.
I think if Jamal Lewis was tight with Decadorba Reed or whatever his name is, I think he would have stopped it, because I think what he's trying to do is align himself with the defensive back line. And
the marking was abysmal for Fulham's goal, but you know what it is. Let's be honest here. Eddie gave some of the defenders a run out. That's all it was for the last 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
We're 4-0 up. We're cruising. There's no way Fulham are coming back in that game anyway. And it was just, Francisco, were you surprised when he changed 3 of the back 4, or do you understand him just giving them a run out?
Not so much as giving them a run out, but it gets to a point, and we've seen this in the past, especially with the aggressive way they were playing since the beginning. I don't think Eddie wanted to risk anyone being out there for a nasty, aggressive tackle when we've already had so much, in terms of injuries and all that. So he's going to get as many players as he can out of there when a game is already won the way it was. So I do understand it completely. But Alex did mention in the review something that makes a lot of sense. When you make so many changes in one area at the same time, it's going to create a little bit of chaos. And that's what happened. Were 3 changes directly on the.
Oh, he's gone.
Are you there, Francisco?
Oh, it's be some disappointed ladies now.
No, that's a still for Rachel, isn't it? She'll have that to received.
It's like he's
Hang on a minute. He's blinking.
Yeah, his eyes are moving.
Oh, it's back.
Oh, okay.
Are you there, Francisco?
Hold on. I think I'm having problems with my internet connection. I'm going to reset it here.
Okay. Right, we'll let Francisco get on with that, and we'll bring him in when he comes back. He'll be back. I was just going to leave him there for Rachel, just leave his frozen screen on for Rachel just to stare at. But there you go. Ian says, here's a question. When Isak's fit, who gets drops? Chippers?
Unfortunately, it's probably going to be Miggy, in my opinion, unfortunately. I think our strongest 3 will be Isak, Wilson, and ESM, whether players are on form or not. But that's what the manager's paid the bucks for, isn't it?
Yeah.
But when you rather have 6 front players on form than 1 or 2 on form and making it easy for the manager, that's what we haven't had as squad competition. And if Almiron is starting to show some form, great. But then if Isak shows form, great. If ESM comes back, shows form, great. Wilson stays fit, gets on form, great. It's good. It's a headache that you need as a manager. You don't want just easy decisions to make, and simple as that. It can only benefit the team having 4 or 5 players up front who are on form. It's as simple as that. Because
that's why we did the show on Sunday, was because it's nice to think that Eddie's going to have a headache like that. It may not be nice for Eddie because he's got to make some tough choices. But the fact of the matter is, he's going to have to make them choices when everyone's fit. Geordie Howe says Mitro might have had other things on his mind. His wife was in labour, I believe.
Oh wow!
I think if she was in labour, I don't think Miggy would. I don't think Mitro would have been on the pitch. Do you?
Yeah.
No.
I find that strange, but he went off injured. So, if she was in labour, he wouldn't have been on the pitch. Full stop.
He couldn't see what he was doing, Paul, because he was in Mitro's pocket for the whole game.
Whose pocket?
In Botman's.
Oh, sorry, in Botman's pocket. Yeah.
I was going to say, how can he be in his own?
I got your point.
Because I'm not drinking. I'm just on the coffee today.
Look, Botman looks just like he's a dream, isn't he, for us? For me, Jackie's undroppable now.
He's the next prime Van Dijk for me. You can't, well, not Van Dijk now, not certainly, but players just are like they're terrified to go up against Botman. It's like every time they go up, Botman doesn't even need to shove him out of the way. He just pokes a foot out and done, and just gets the ball up the pitch and we're on the counter attack. It's unbelievable defending for that kind of age, and he's so dominant in the air. He hardly ever loses. I don't think he's lost an aerial duel. He's literally the Newcastle United future and could become a Newcastle legend. Because he's that
two-footed as well, which is something else. He can ping a ball right or left foot.
It's just amazing. He's just one of the best youngest centre backs I've ever seen, and it's proud to say that he's part of Newcastle, and I'm so proud to say that. And thank God we spent the time searching for him and going for him, because if we gave up easily, that could have been our future gone in our back line, because he makes that back line for me. He's that centre of that two centre backs. He's the centre of it. He controls the centre backs, and he's just absolutely amazing. And if we gave him to AC Milan, it could have been a very bad decision. But luckily, we've stayed true to ourselves. We fought and we got him, and it's paid off.
Well, I mean, by all accounts, since we've heard from AC Milan, Newcastle was his first choice, and we all doubted that. Remember when all these AC Milan rumours were kicking off, we all said, if he wants to go to Milan, let him go and all of that. But turns out, even from Milan's side, Newcastle was always his first choice. Go on, Billy.
He's the full package, isn't it? At 22 years of age, he's the full package in the centre half. He's not going to reach his peak for another 6 years yet. So it's frightening to think what he might actually become. Seriously, he's going to be something special, and I mean, especially in a world-class, legendary defender. If he can maintain his fitness and if he can progress at the rate he's progressing, we're going to be stuck here with something Baresi, Maldini. Look, he's that good.
Oh, it's incredible. He's just so calm and cool and collective on the ball. He doesn't panic at all. He's just one of those players that you love watching defend, because he's so at ease with the way he plays.
It's an art, isn't it? The way he does it. It's an art. It's literally an art, the way he defends.
Yes, it is.
Ian says, come on, the refs' decisions are going our way since the complaint. Well, they haven't been as bad. Let's be honest. I mean, we have had decisions go our way, which is nice. It does make a nice change, but let's hope that continues. I don't want that to stop, to be honest. John says, thank you, Paul, and everyone at the Toon Review for keeping me sane the last 12 months. I've not commented, but I've watched nearly all your programs. Thank you very much, John. I really appreciate that. Gary says they have to show all angles, Paul. Well, yeah, but 4 minutes, Gaz. I mean, I think that's a bit rough, to be honest. I mean, look, you could look at a screen and say, right, you could look at all the angles and go, right, that's not offside, that's not offside. Simple as that, and then get on with it. It's just, it's crazy. I mean, Mike Dean, the guy is 155-year-old. He's probably got very bad eyesight. He's a hobbit. As well as a monumental bell-end. So, Roy, do you think he was looking for a way to stop the goal?
Yeah, that's why he went for 3 minutes, I think, because he looked at every single angle and any excuse to stop it. But I thought Wilson was offside as well, but then we saw it. It took me like 10 from the first replay to say, that's it, it's a goal. But it kept going on and on and on. No idea. So he failed.
What did you think of Lascelles when he came on, Roy? Because Caboose. I love that. That's a proper Geordie frick. Caboose.
Well, he looked. I don't know.
He wasn't with it, was he?
No, and then for the goal, he looked. He wasn't closing the player down when he allowed him to cross the ball really easy, and then.
And I think in the short space of time that he was on the pitch, he gave away the most fouls, which is quite bizarre considering the amount of time that he was on the pitch. Ab says Bruno is just world class. Takes up to a whole other level. He does, and that rebounds on Miggy, Ryan, doesn't it? You can tell how much Miggy enjoys playing with him. They're on the same level. Look at the Miggy's goal, the little clip, the 1-2, gave it to Bruno, made the run. Bruno saw the run, clipped it over, bang in the back of the net.
Well, I always thought with when Bruno came in, I was like, with this, like the connection he was getting with Miggy right away, like every time those two are on the right side, I always think they're going to play some 1-2 in behind and like score a goal. Like that's the connection they got now. And before Bruno came in, even before Eddie Howe, like when were we ever seeing us playing 1-2s? And like even Miggy especially, never see that. And it's also credit to Eddie Howe as well, because clearly, and we as fans said during the Steve Bruce era that like we have good players here. They just need to be played properly, have decent instructions to them, and we could see some good quality out of the players. And with regards to Wilson too, I think it's not just Almiron as well, but it's just like ASM as well. Like any striker, like they'll do well if they have good winners. Like it's like Erling Haaland, for example. Like the guy on his own, yeah, he's good, but he'll be more unstoppable with powerful quality around him. And
well, when he's got De Bruyne playing the balls that he does into him, he's going to score. Without De Bruyne would be interesting, because I don't think there's anybody else on that Man City pitch in that midfield who can pass a ball like De Bruyne. I mean, there isn't, Danny. There isn't. You know, there's very, very good players. Don't get me wrong, very good players, but the precision that De Bruyne has. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a massive fan of Gundogan. I think he's a very underrated player. But for passing ability and vision, you take De Bruyne out that team, and they're not the same. They're still very good, by the way, but not the same.
Nobody's got the passing range of De Bruyne, yes, but they have still got creativity in that team.
Well,
Bernardo Silva,
I know
Gundogan.
Nobody would have played that ball in for Haaland.
No, that's true. That's true.
Nobody.
Just think if we had James Madison, he has the ability to play the kind of balls, because he's almost up there with De Bruyne, I think.
Who?
James Madison.
Yeah, well,
when we're linked with him, I said he's a level below De Bruyne, and he could probably reach that level.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, if there's anybody to bring him to that level, it's already, isn't it? So, Carl says, I think Miggy meant it, but shocked himself when he pulled the strike off. That's probably more like it. Yeah,
that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Ian, thank you for your £2 super chat, buddy. We've answered that. Well, we kind of answered it because that's up to Eddie. Do you click the like, peeps, help the channel, and click the subscribe button? That would be lovely. Thank you very much. Mike says that and Babu challenge was reckless, deserved worse, should have been looked at more. Why was it not looked at, Billy?
I have no idea. It was literally a kung fu kick to Joe Willock's calf muscle. Ridiculous.
I didn't see it.
2-footed.
Yeah.
Nowhere near the ball. Didn't even get booked for it. It was
Were they already down to 10 men at that point?
No, they weren't. No.
No. Sorry, no, they weren't. It was very early in the game, which I think is why he didn't give a red card, but he had no choice for the second one. VAR had to go and tell the referee that is a red card. They couldn't get away with two. No way. Otherwise, questions would have seriously been asked. Julie J says, Salty Owen doesn't deserve any airtime, but Bellamy, on the other hand, has complimented us in recent podcasts. Did you hear that, Rowan?
Yeah, I saw the quote earlier today, and I felt obviously Bellamy's the type of character where even if he played well for you and your fans liked him, even if he plays against you, he's going to act like a knob in that game. So I think that's why not many of the fans liked him. But I don't mind ex-players like.
Depends what mood he's in, doesn't it, as to what he says.
It's because I remember a game when he was playing for Liverpool and he was just abusing Tim Krul all game. I didn't like him after that. But it was respectful, but I don't really care. I mean, I'd never watched him play for Newcastle, so I don't really know.
He was all right for us, I have to say. Like he was all right for us. Norvik says, Denya, isn't that something to do with women's tights? Here we go. Tony Hunter says, is Denya not an arse? That's Derriere, Tony. Jesus Christ, man. You've had a Castoria there. A serious Castoria. Pilo Keith says, John Anderson from Radio Newcastle questioned whether Miggy meant the shot, suggesting it was mishit. It wasn't mishit.
No, it wasn't.
If you look at it in slow motion, he looks where he's going to put the ball, and he puts the ball exactly where he's looking. That's not a
John
mishit.
Anderson would never have tried that shot, and if he'd have tried it, it'd have ended up over in the River Thames somewhere.
It would still be heading towards the moon.
Let's be honest. Everybody, including the commentators, when it was hit, when it went in, it took about half a second to a second for everyone to react. It was like, okay, it went in. Oh God, it went in. That was the reaction from everyone, including commentators. So
it was the same in the car. Me and Michael were sitting watching in the car on his his tablet, and like what, Billy?
Jeff Hendricks just blasted one in from 20 yards for Reading. On the volley.
You see what we've lost. You see,
he's still useless. He's still useless for Reading.
Jesus. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, look, I must admit, I found it astonishing when it went into the back of the net.
That's what's great about it.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Jack, you have a definition for denier or denier. Go on. Then.
A person who denies something, especially someone who refuses to admit the truth or a concept or proposition that is supported by the majority or scientific or historical evidence.
Does that sound like anybody that we know possibly living in Bristol?
So someone who denies everything.
Yeah.
I swear I've heard.
Sounds like John Sinclair, to be honest, doesn't it?
Well, it must be a Bristol thing, to be honest. I think that's how it is. Foxy says when Isak is fit, he needs to work hard to get back into the starting 11. No place should be guaranteed to anyone. If the team plays well, they should keep that starting spot. I totally agree with that. I don't see why.
ASM comes back right away, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a position where, we are struggling without ASM. Apart from when Anderson plays there, I think Anderson, he lost the ball a couple of times on Saturday, but the fact is he ran at the defenders, which is what I want to see. He's not frightened to take the defenders on.
Match fit ASM in that team on Saturday would possibly score 7 or 6.
Oh, yeah. Christ, yeah, he would have had.
So that's why he should come straight back in.
ASM against Mbabu, there was just no.
Mbabu would have been subbed off after 5 minutes instead.
Yeah, absolutely. Francisco, were you going to say something there?
Yeah, I think one thing that we have to be, realistic about is, and this is for every single team out there, good players make those around them better, and it's been proven. The fact that Wilson and Bruno were there makes other players perform better. Yeah. We've seen it with the connection with Miggy. When Maxi's available, his connection with Wilson allows Wilson to create a lot more for himself. So when those players are playing together, that's where we see a lot of the magic. And we saw it starting to develop in those first 2 games that were together. Mm-hmm. But it's been crashing down because someone has always been missing. Yeah. And I think that's what we have to take into account. We have not had the chance for the team to develop and gel as a team on the pitch. Yes, they tried it on the preseason, but as we know, on the preseason, and it was one thing we commented a lot on, Eddie kept switching, which is normal for the preseason, but he kept changing the lineups, kept changing the players. It was never the same lineup. So I think he was waiting for the regular season to start to get into that, and we never got the chance. Now that we're seeing them come back together, because Miggy's first goal of the season came with, Callum being there, with Maxi being there. So it helps. And definitely some players do develop a special connection amongst themselves in different teams. And in this case, Bruno and Miggy have it. Our smiling jackrabbit benefits a lot from Bruno.
Definitely. Well,
there was a crash last week when Ryan Fraser started, and that's when you saw in Joe Linton and Target get Fraser out now.
Yeah. Steve says, isn't it great now watching so many other teams struggling and managers going, and we are not even thinking about this anymore? Hey, Billy, were you surprised to see that Wolves are looking at another Portuguese manager?
Slap my thighs to wet fish. Absolutely not.
I saw one rumor that they're trying to get Julian Lopetegui, but he's still at Sevilla.
Well, the last one I saw was a Portuguese manager, so it wouldn't surprise me. Portuguese or Spanish.
I have to shoot off. I need to pick up my brother from town.
All right, man, no problem. Thanks for coming on.
Cheers for having us.
Good night, buddy. Norvik says, I was watching Game of Thrones last night on Sky Atlantic, and what sounded like a familiar voice came on. Next, we slide into episode 1 of season 4 of Game of Thrones. Please say it, Francisco, to see if it was you.
It was not me. I wish it were me. Trust
well,
me.
you do voiceovers.
True.
Previous
slide. Well, what is it? Wait.
I think he wants you to
slide
say
into
it.
episode 1 of season 4 of Game of Thrones.
Hey, honestly, do you know what?
Previously on.
Rachel's just passed out now. By the way, she's gone. Yeah. Barbara says, "Could you not just give Miggy and Isak a half each?" Barbara, come on. No. Mike saying who shot themselves. I did hear that actually. There was that sound of brown rain crumbling in somebody's pants, but it was. I think it was the microphone again. To be honest,
somebody was praying to the patron saint from the other day.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
Funny car.
Yeah, here we go.
Unbelievable crap. Tom says Van Dijk is like bread on the turn. It looks okay, but then you notice a couple of blue spots in there, and it's that's where Van Dijk is now.
Mm-hmm.
He's lost a lot of form. In fact, Liverpool for me is it still 1-0 against Rangers?
2-0.
I thought it was funny that Liverpool fans were comparing him like Sergio Ramos and like greats. Like, the guy's never going to be that level, especially for that period of their careers.
Okay, I mean, Van Dijk is a very good defender. I think he's just out of form right now. Listen, I mean, could you imagine Van Dijk and Botman for us, Roy?
That'll be great. But I think the Liverpool are being exposed now because of Arnold and Robertson, and always up front, and he's defending with 2 players at the moment. So I think they need to put 3 at the back, and he's going through a bit. And he might as well be worried about getting injured for the World Cup, so he's not putting 100%. No idea, but the whole team doesn't look normal.
It's looking like now that their win against us was a big. What's the term again?
They only won 2 games.
It papered over the cracks a lot for their like whole season, I guess.
Yeah, they beat Bournemouth, and then Bournemouth had half of the team missing, and then they beat us.
Brighton should have won against them.
I wish we could have got.
I think I'd prefer Botman and Delete.
I'm just loving that us and Brighton are challenging and making these top 6 clubs shitting themselves.
I think I'd prefer Botman and Delete. I'm being honest.
Ooh.
I'm surprised he's not even been picked for Holland yet. For the
two young Dutch players, got a lot of bright future ahead of them. Van Dijk's getting a bit older now.
I think if someone like Ake gets injured, Botman goes to the World Cup for sure.
Well,
I think you know what it is? When he was rumoured to come to us, Nathan Ake, I was very against it. I didn't agree with it, but I've seen him play quite a few times this season. He's playing really well.
Yeah, I don't think Ake is one of them defenders who stands out. Like, he's not like Van Dijk or anything like that, but he does the job.
Just does the job, doesn't he? And gets on with it. Yeah.
But if he were to come to us, would it be as a center or as a left?
Probably left.
He can play both sides, can't he?
He would do a Dan Burn job as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's the way you got to play football now, is with left side center backs rather than the right one.
Well, just Botman play either side. He's right and left footed. It wouldn't matter to Botman which side he plays.
Well, I'm sure any center back can, but like it's better adjusting period and preferred foot, obviously.
Any centre back, really, Ryan? Lascelles?
Oh, I mean, fuck's sake.
Lascelles couldn't ping a pass like Botman does.
I didn't
on
mean
his
our
left
team. I just meant in general.
Well, you're talking crap, and I'm going to pull you up on it, Ryan. This is interesting, by the way, for Saturday. Botman against Tony.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, everybody was saying, for last week it was sort of sharing Mitrovic, and this week it's going to be Botman and Tony. I think that's a fascinating Julian.
I don't think Tony has a prayer, if I'm being honest.
I think.
I don't see it.
I would. I'd like
Botman v Haaland is more for me. I prefer that more.
Yeah, that sounds better.
But that's the only one he's kind of in trouble with, isn't it? The Haaland one. The rest of them he's having in his pocket. But let's be honest about it.
Even then, though, Billy, I think if I remember rightly, you only lost him once, and that was for the goal, wasn't it?
That's Haaland all over, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see him against Kane in a couple of weeks.
I think he also lost Haaland when Haaland hit the post, where he turned Botman inside out and hit the post, but that Pope save.
I think that game against Botman, though, I think he was very much adjusting to the Premier League. Let's face it, he hadn't played a lot of games, had he?
Let's wait till the
Man City.
Was that Botman's first game?
No, it was his second game.
Second
Start. He started against Brighton and then.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see him against Kane in a couple of weeks' time. That'll be the interesting one for me.
Or Ronaldo.
Well, Harry Kane plays in midfield these days, doesn't he, Billy? So
this is true, yeah.
And I tell you what, Kane won't get away with the snide little shite he gets away with all the time, by the way. Sharon Botman will not put up for that crap and all. You know, the little elbows or looking to see where the defender is before he ducks out of a header, sends the centre-back sprawling over the top of them and potentially, you know, doing the shoulders in or doing the necks in. It's dangerous.
Flavien Lejeune as well, didn't he? Remember he did Flavien Lejeune.
He did.
Yeah. 4 years back.
And
he was trying to get one of our defenders sent off last season, wasn't he? He was trying to get one of our players sent off.
It's going to be an interesting battle of giants in terms of the height that's going to be on the field, you know, for set pieces and corners and all that. If we have Byrne, Botman, Isak, they have Kane, they have what's it called? The Brazilian. Richarlison and all that. Those are going to be interesting set pieces.
It'll be a good game against Tottenham and Man United as well. That'll be a good game.
Mike Dean's Gary says Mike Dean's whistle was called "My Precious."
Precious, my precious.
Who just did that?
That was Francisco.
Yeah, I think it was Francisco.
My precious.
Okay. Let's not all talk like that.
You guys sound like Garcidius.
Oh, it got me from right now.
Sound like Garcidius there, Paul.
Streets and houses, George.
Yes, Jeffrey. Open Wilby, streets and houses, rainbow flying high.
George.
Bill, you got braces on, or is that your green screen?
I think that's his green screen. It looks like he's having an MRI on his teeth.
Just call me Jurgen.
Sorry, Susan's lost the plot in the living room. Billy, don't do that anymore, man. That's scary shit.
George, you're looking bizarre.
I'm starting to sound like a fucking pirate. Anyway,
yeah, you are.
I don't know where this show's gone again. After an hour, this just goes to shit. This show, it really does. But I've never seen Billy do a George impression looking like he's having an MRI scan. I mean, that was classic Sinclair, that there, Billy. Anyway, Geordie Howeman says after last night's performance, a few more teams will now be in for Madison. Hope he can see our ambition, but he wants to come, Chippers.
Apparently, he might get a new contract as well, so that's hopefully we can get him.
Nah, bollocks to that. He's not saying that. Would you have him, Chippers?
He's not staying at Leicester. He's just not staying at Leicester. I'm sorry, but he'll be gone in January, whether that's the year or not. He'll be gone in January. There's no way he's stopping at Leicester on that performances like that, unfortunately for them, because you only have 18 months left on his contract, and personally, they'll have to sell him. It's as simple as that, because they've got nobody. They need money. The owners haven't got the money to back the manager, so they need money. It's as simple as that. And I think that's the reason why Rodgers is still in the job, because they can't afford to sack him. They pay him off.
Did anyone watch Madison's interview after the game?
No, I didn't see it.
He was talking about England and saying all these players getting for England because they're in big clubs, and I'm just going to have to force my way through. So basically, he's hinting that he needs to go to a bigger club to get an England squad.
He just needs to come to Toon.
Yeah.
He needs to come to Toon. Proudlock, good evening.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good.
What were your thoughts of the weekend then?
I thought it was a very comfortable win for us. I don't think even if Fulham didn't get a red card, I think we still would have won that. I think it was a very comfortable performance. It's a definite red card. I don't know how that Marco Silva's been so salty and say that's not a red card. I mean, Longstaff, I think, imagine if he suffered a horrific injury from that tackle from Chalobah. I mean,
well,
a lot of Fulham fans says it was a disgraceful challenge, and a lot of Fulham fans said that he is a liability to their team and the one him sold in January.
Yeah, I heard those too.
He's not playing for Fulham ever again. Not a chance.
Well, listen, he's done himself no favours. Troll said, hang on a minute. I've just seen a comment, and I do not know what the hell Gary and Cesare are talking about. But Gary has just replied, I'm about 15 minutes behind on the chat, but this is weird. Cesare, I'm sitting on mine now.
What?
Wow. Must be double jointed.
Oh.
I have no idea what that conversation is. Troll says, do we really know which ring Gollum was talking about when saying my precious? What has that got to do with Newcastle United? Anyway, Tom says Bellamy's greatest quote was during his ill-advised Sky interview. He, talking about Souness, went behind my back right in front of my face. I remember when he said that. Yeah. Ian says we weren't exactly Real Madrid when Owen joined. I think he's a bell end for saying that. Well, we know he's a bell end.
Yeah, he stole a living. Just stole a living.
Stole a living? Yeah, bugger. Yeah. Honestly, just got him. Just no. I can't stand him. Every time I see him now, and he's standing there with a smug little face saying, I've got millions in the bank because I robbed Newcastle blind. Bastard. Dave says going to cost millions to get rid of the Bosman rule. I don't think anyone's going to.
Yeah, after 7 years.
The hell's that?
Or however long his contract, 6 years, 7 years, so around that area.
Oh.
Who?
Didn't Botman sign like a 6-year contract?
Well, Dave's talking about Bosman. Who's Bosman? Isn't that a rule?
Yeah, that's European rule.
Oh, is it? Oh, go.
Yeah, that's when the players can leave their clubs after their contracts are finished.
I thought it was a typo.
I think, Jack, you've just had a Castoria, my friend.
I mean, he might not have. He could have been on about Botman.
Well, he could be on about Botman, and if so...
No, I thought it was a typo. I thought it was a typo.
Oh, bollocks, let's move on. James, hi, everyone. Tuning in from Greece tonight. Nice. How it was only 3 or 4 minutes stoppage time was ridiculous. It was a way to stop our rhythm. Mary, good evening. Hope you're well. Also, Isak is Eddie's signing. Almiron wasn't. Ooh.
I think one thing that I want to say on with regards to people saying who's going to come out, who's going to come in, will Isak come in for me? At no point, we're a quarter of the way through the season, at no point have we've always had a couple of injuries, and some of them have always been from the front line. So I don't even think we'll with the intensity we play with, we're always going to get these little niggly injuries anyway. So if you miss a game, you won't be long till you're back in if you're decent.
Especially if you're HSM, it's right back in the team.
Absolutely.
That's one person you can't risk playing. Maximum, he's such an explosive player. You can't risk him at all.
I heard this. Tom said John Sinclair was talking about various Portuguese managers for Wolves. I suggested Estavo da Brusos. And John said, I've not heard of him.
You know what John also did? I told Chippas, but he's just doing his takeover anniversary tomorrow. It's not even the anniversary tomorrow. He's got it scheduled for the 5th tomorrow.
It's on Friday, isn't it? Anniversary.
Friday. Yeah, it's Friday.
Yeah.
7th.
He's got it scheduled for tomorrow. Takeover anniversary.
Wow. Rachel says, what have I missed? I've just picked myself off the floor. Rachel also says, the usual, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Please do if you're new to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. We're on the way to 14,500. Let's get there soon with your help, guys. And also, obviously, the like button, the notification bell, become a member, win stuff, become a member. And also, as so many wonderful people have already tonight, please, if you want to donate to the channel, hit that $sign at the bottom of the live comments. And if you want your merch, Francisco.
Yes, sir.
What build up to the advertisement for the merch. Just do something.
Well, everybody in the chat and listening around the world on the YouTube world, please be sure to hit the link that Paul's about to show to get your merch.
So let's get down to business.
I've been waiting, think I wanna make that move now. Baby, tell me if you like it. Tell me if you like it now. I've been waiting, think I'm gonna make that move now. Baby, tell me how you like it.
Let's get down to business.
So there you go, the toonreview.co.uk, the place to go for all your merch. Who we just lost there?
Chippers.
Well, he's got a terrible. You know what, Billy? Did Chippers not get a new internet a couple of months ago?
I think so. Yeah, I think he did.
What the hell? Honestly, his internet is worse than Sinclair's. I'm telling you.
It's the first time
Rainbow
he's done
made a
it.
brief comeback, says Mary. Oh, you don't know the half of it. Sorry, what was that, George?
He said he did indeed.
Sounds like Jar Jar Binks from Star Wars.
No.
Oh no, he's not talking about. He's talking about Gollum. Surely, Gollum sounds like Jar Jar Binks, doesn't he?
No.
I haven't watched Star Wars in years.
Nah.
I can't remember.
Misa.
Andrew says the young lad's face has never heard of Rainbow. I like, what the fuck are they on about?
Zippy.
Yeah, what the hell?
Oh, man.
Who doesn't know of Rainbow? I mean, Jack,
Yep.
have you seen Rainbow?
Rainbow.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few in my time.
Not that Rainbow, you dizzy git, man. The bloody children's program Rainbow.
Zippy.
Up above the streets and houses, Rainbow flying high. Don't finish that, anybody.
How many years ago?
It wasn't the 70s.
It wasn't
How
the
many years
70s,
ago?
Billy.
That was.
When was it about? What?
70s and 80s.
Oh, no, I've never seen them. I was
No,
born
but
way after
there's
that.
lots of them on YouTube.
don't
There's some
see
very
that,
funny
no.
ones on YouTube.
No.
Ryan, what
don't
you
see
playing with there?
I beg your pardon?
My Apple Watch is dead.
Oh.
So I just took it off.
He was fumbling around, Billy. You know, and we do have previous on here with.
Okay, why would I ever do
his
that?
thumb.
And that's
Jose the other day.
I'm not that stupid.
Yeah. You what, Roy?
I'm not that stupid.
I wouldn't say anything.
Oh, who said something there?
That wasn't me.
That was Shaggy.
Sure. Oh,
You could get away with singing a Shaggy song, right? You've got that kind of
Shaggy.
Not that Shaggy. Oh, for God's sake! You're thinking of Scoot Raggy.
It wasn't me.
I love it.
Nice.
Sugar.
Shaggy. The singer Shaggy.
Oh, I'm Mr. Lova.
Mr. Lova, yes.
They call me Mr. Boombust.
I bet that's what Francisco's known as in Puerto Rico. Mr. Lover. Yeah, he's going red there. You can see it now.
Mr. Lover.
Oh, Christ. What do you...
Sugar.
Francisco, you have to remember that Rachel is watching, and you've already
Well, we can
literally
always take
destroyed
care
the
of
woman
that.
tonight.
If you want, we can take care of that with a little disclaimer I can make for the beginning and the end of the show, just in case. That'll cover us.
Well,
we're not responsible for any bodily reactions that you may face during the transmission of this show, just in case.
Well, if you're going to talk about those sort of things, Francisco, I think we need quite a few for various countries across the world.
Well, we could do that just in case.
Because the Toon Review is probably responsible for quite a few, I'm just expecting a black limo to pull up outside the house soon. Just take me away. But never mind. Good evening, China. Good evening, South Korea, North Korea. Good evening, France. Hashtag Frenchness. Let's just get them all out the way.
Viva la revolution.
I beg your pardon?
I heard that.
He said Viva la Revolution. I know what that means.
Viva la revolution.
Dear God, he's
Be quiet, you Latin Americans.
Chippers, I'm trying to click you back in, mate, but it's not coming on, so I don't know what's going on with your internet, buddy, but it won't let me click you back in. Angelica says, I'm late, just got back. I had to 999 the hubby into hospital this afternoon. Bloody hell, I hope he's all right, Angelica. Give him all our thoughts and prayers from the Toon Review, and I hope he's okay. Gary says, up above the streets and houses, rainbow climbing high. What was the next verse?
Everyone can see him shining over the sky. Paint the whole world with a rainbow.
There are
And we lost them.
lyrics.
Other children's programs were available.
They were. Jim will fix it for one. For fuck's sake.
Sounds like UK children's TV is a lot different compared to what
Francisco, we need another disclaimer for Billy's comment there, please. Madison is absolutely class. Would love him at the Toon, says the clone lad.
Yeah.
Rachel says, paint the whole world with a rainbow. I'm sure she is right now. Mike says, we may be the only ones that can accommodate Madison. Transfer cost and a starting spot. Yes. Anyone will have to pay 100 million for Madison. Barbara, have you been drinking tonight by any chance?
I don't think he's worth 100 million. 60 million.
His contract's running out as well, so it'd be less than what we offered him in the summer. So I'm guessing
60, I reckon, isn't it?
Yeah.
60.
When does his contract end? Is it this season or next?
18 months, I think, from January.
18 months. So listen, I mean, Leicester are under pressure here because if we offer 60 million, they're going to be under serious pressure. I mean, what do you think, Annie? Would you, if you were in charge of Leicester now and Madison, would you take that risk or would you accept the money given the circumstances that their club's in?
Quite frankly, I'd rather sell Yuri Tillemans at this point in time because Madison. If you lose Madison, you lose the creativity completely. And I think if Leicester have the creativity, I think Rodgers would prefer the creativity over the stability probably of Tielemans in that midfield. So I'd keep Madison, probably sell Tielemans if push comes to shove.
But they won't be able to sell Tielemans.
Tielemans looks like he's down tools, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I mean, look, his contract does end at the end of this season, doesn't it, Tielemans? So, I think there was talk that Newcastle United were interested in a double swoop. Now, if I think we get Tielemans obviously a lot cheaper than what we will Madison, and I also think that obviously Tielemans is more riskier than Madison. I know. Listen, Tielemans is a great player, but I agree, and he has seemed to down tools. He doesn't seem interested anymore. I don't know whether he's had a falling out with Rodgers as well, because it all seems to be going a bit pear-shaped before they played Forest the other night. Just because they beat Forest convincingly, I don't think they're out the woods by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, no, I can't say it after one game.
Nah, Forest are all over the place.
I feel like he's got his eyes set on Arsenal.
You what, mate?
I think he's got his eyes set on Arsenal.
That was a rumor, wasn't it? That he.
In fact, he's also got a lot of centre midfielders now as well.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Arsenal are playing very well at the minute, and it is appealing, I would think, for anyone.
Probably really appealing now.
Yeah. Interesting. Foxy says as well, if we want Madison in January, we'll have to be close to 100 million. No way Leicester let them go mid-season for normal price.
They could be forced into it.
Yeah, if he tells them that he's not going to sign a new contract, that will force them into letting them go. They have to. If they're not going to let him go for nothing when they get 60 million quid
in the summer.
I mean, they could wait till the summer. Very interesting. But if they're offered 60 million in January, would they get the same in the summer?
No, they get probably 40, I reckon, in the summer because he's got 12 months left. He can, you know what I mean. He's basically away. If they don't sell him, then he will be away at the end of the next season or January, innit? Definitely. So I think that they probably will sell him if we come in with a decent offer or somebody does.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. The clone lad says Steve Bruce today said change is for others to decide. Where have we heard that before? Well, we've heard that a few times.
Has he won a game yet? I'm not sure if he's won a game yet.
Just one.
Irons.
Just one. Yeah, I think he just won one.
There's irons in the fire.
In fairness, do we really give a monkey's uncle's chuff?
I just want to get sacked and the man's completely.
Listen, the man's a fraud. People are starting to see that now.
Another one who steals the living. Another one who steals the living at clubs he's managed. Well, majority
I thought he would have retired after getting 8 million.
And he rates him. Annie.
Yeah, Annie. What's your thoughts? A very interesting comment, that, Billy, because Annie, when Newcastle United had Steve Bruce as manager, Annie, of course, made a big. Yeah, you hide your head. Annie made a big play for Steve Bruce. And so, what were the words you used, Annie?
Can't remember. I've said a lot of things about Bruce.
Pragmatic, wasn't it?
Pragmatic is the word you used.
Possible deniability.
Yeah. How pragmatic do you think Steve Bruce is at the moment?
I'd probably use the word defensive. And it's not going well.
Is that about you or Steve Bruce?
No, I think he's offensive.
Honestly, West Brom are a mess. Don't know what.
I wonder why that is.
Like,
because
where were West Brom in the league? Remember, you have to remember where they were in the league when he took over, and now
in the playoff position.
No. That from last season, they were even more of a mess. Like the player cohesion was. Yes, you won't believe me when you say that. They were. You won't believe me when you say that, but they were even more of a mess last season. Bruce has improved it like a tiny bit. West Brom. I'm not joking. I'm literally not joking by that. I'm not joking.
The bottom three.
They've got a better attack now. But you'll go. What are you talking about?
Annie, I'm sorry, Annie. I'm sorry, but this is for you.
I'm not joking when I say that West Brom were a mess last season when Bruce took over. And yeah, when things 10th they finished in the end was not very good at all. And this
if
season,
he made it improve, they would have been in the playoff spot. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah, when he took over, there was 6.
How can it be improved when they're downgraded, when they've gone all the way down?
Let's not forget, and he's
because the player cohesion and the dressing room was
let's move on from Steve Bruce. He's took far too much of our time up tonight, and I don't want to talk about many more. Let's have a look at some comments. Mary says double joints issue has had me not only on the floor but also need to get. I had to read that twice because I wanted to see where that comment was going before I finished it. Lubed to ease the swelling. Interesting. Thank you for that, Mary. Darren says, hi, all late arrivals. So watching from the start, hope everyone is good. Isn't it hilarious how Man United were trying to stop our takeover, but wanted Piff to buy a stake in them?
Indeed.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Yes.
Today,
I mean, it's just unbelievable, isn't it? Julie says there's an innuendo clip of Rainbow out there, which is really funny. Yes, with George and Zippy, funny enough. I think we've all seen that. Apart from the
count to 4. 1 skin, 2 skin, 3 skin. What's next, Zippy?
Foreskin.
I knew you'd pull that one back out of the fire.
You got to do that in costume for Halloween.
Absolutely not.
Really.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
Right, Annie, I believe you've got to go, buddy. Thank you very much for coming on again, and we'll see you next week, bud.
See you, Annie.
You will.
See you, Annie.
Take care.
Whether that's Bruce's manager or not.
Who knows, mate? Who knows? Take care, buddy.
Who knows?
Probably not.
Good night. Good night. Oh, I took Jack out there for no apparent reason. We'll be coming to our predictions very shortly. I'm just trying to see what kind of crazy comments. Tom says, I loved watching Rainbow, and then Jamie and the Magic Torch. What a theme tune that was. Jamie and his magic torch. Anyway, from what I believe of the 70s and 80s, I'm surprised anyone can remember anything from them. Well, I wasn't very old, so I wasn't partaking in anything that went on in the 80s. That's a sure thing. John says, Paul to Jack, do you know about Rainbow? Yes, I've seen quite a few. Absolute class. I pissed myself at this comment.
It happens.
Look at Jack's face. He's just sitting. Hang on. I don't care.
I don't know what it is.
Jack, go on YouTube and look up Rainbow Children's Show, and you'll see.
Yeah, you'll see what we're talking. Like me and Billy kind of do the impressions of Zippy and George, which
will
is.
Will it be like some poor 480p quality?
Correct.
I would think so. I don't think Rainbow was ever done in high def, mate, to be honest.
Thank God.
I think my childhood was just would you have just oh my God, I can't speak. I think my childhood just stuck to CBBS. That's it.
The moon, the bear, and the big blue house. Captain
That's the
Pug,
stuff I grew up.
How have we got onto this conversation? Honestly. Anyway, let's turn our attention to the weekend, shall we? Brentford are the visitors to St James's Park. So we will now do our predictions. Did anyone get last week's prediction right?
Oh, I'll get him. We know someone that did.
That
I'm not sure who that is.
not
Billy,
allowed
who was
to
it?
brag. That someone is not allowed to brag. That someone broke his word.
Do you know, some people got very under the comments of the review show we did. Some people got quite abusive that I didn't bear my ass. By the way,
the only thing I got.
That's actually scary. That people were complaining that I didn't bear the old moon.
People don't know the terms of service. Like, it's common sense not to.
Shut
do
up,
that.
Ian. That moon is for Susan's eyes only. Anyway, right, who are we going to start with? Ian, come on,
mate. I'm going to go 3-1 again because I've gone 3-1 every week and I've never been right.
You might get it right eventually, I guess.
Yeah, 3-1. I think it'll be actually obviously an harder game than last week, but I still think we'll have enough to keep Tony under wraps and 3-1. That's what I reckon.
Who's going to get the girls?
I'm hoping Maxie's back, but I don't know what the score is with that yet. If
I think
he's back, he might get one. I think
know he trained on Friday, but Eddie Howe didn't risk him still, so I've got the feeling he could well be back for Saturday. This hopefully.
Yeah. So I'd say
I came out today.
Yeah, say Maxie. Let's give Miggy another one. And
I take it that's a smiling moon.
Yep, that's a smiling moon.
Yeah, baby.
Does your moon smile or whistle?
A what?
Does your moon smile or whistle?
It does both, Billy.
It whistles if you put your finger in it.
It depends on what he had.
Hey! God almighty.
On that note, I should go, I reckon.
Billy's growls. Anyway, Ian, who's scoring?
I reckon Botman's due one, isn't he? Miggy and Maxie, I reckon, if Maxie's back.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Perfect. Thanks for coming on, Ian.
Nice one. Cheers, lads.
Stay in touch, bud. You take care.
See you on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, come and see us this time.
I will do. Sorry, I've got a bit caught up. So, yeah, definitely come and see you, mate. 100%.
All right, pal.
Cheers. Take it easy.
Good night, buddy. Good night. Right, Mr. Proudlock.
Yes, I'm going to say 3-1 as well.
Oh.
And I'm going to say Wilson's going to get 2. And I'm going to go with Miggy to get another goal as well. And 3 points would be fantastic this Saturday with a baby birthday. And
Peter, you've never mentioned that, mate.
I know.
You've never once mentioned that it's your birthday on Saturday.
Well, why not?
The day after the takeover.
Yeah.
Pete and Stato, isn't it? Pete and Stato on the same day.
Stato as well, aye.
Stato's
birthday. Is it Stato's on Saturday or Sunday, Billy? I'm not sure.
I think it's Saturday, isn't it?
8th of October.
I think you said Sunday the other day.
I think he's
day of the
takeover. They've both got birthdays over the weekend.
Aye, that's it.
That's an easy way of doing it.
Friday.
Right. Thanks for coming on, Pete, and I'll see you on Saturday, bud.
Catch you there.
Good night, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Right, Jack, come on then.
Yep.
And Jack, I know I've still meant to sort of catch up with you for some software advice, so it will be soon, mate. But as you know, I've been moving house, so it's been a little bit hectic.
That's fine.
I nearly missed tonight's show because I fell down the stairs again on the way to do this show. I lost my balance halfway down the stairs again and ended up at the bottom of them. But thankfully, no significant injuries. But that's the life of living with Parkinson's. Unfortunately, you just don't know when you're going to go. But I will be in touch, mate. We will get that sorted because I'm going to, bow to your better knowledge of OBS because I haven't got a sudden clue. Go on then. What's the score?
I'm also going to go for a 3-1.
3, bloody hell. And who's going to score?
Miggy for 2 and Wilson with 1.
Cool. Right, give your YouTube channel a shout out as well.
You can find me on YouTube at Toon TV.
Yeah, go and give it a subscribe, guys, and help Jack move up the. Give him a few more subscribers because he's working hard at it. So, Toon TV, the place to go, and we'll do some collabs together.
We've appeared on that. Have you seen that fans program that shows the goals, our reactions to it? And Jack's been on the same.
Is it Liverpool one?
I think we're on Liverpool one.
Yeah, Liverpool. Yeah, I got a lot of slack for that.
I was on that as well.
You were on Liverpool one, yeah.
Aye.
Hold on, what channel is this called?
It time-stamped me and went, "Oh, that reaction's the best," and it went, "Oh, keep on crying."
Yeah, you got.
And then Liverpool
put me
fans...
on that. I wasn't impressed.
Yeah.
They never asked permission for that, by the way.
No.
All Liverpool fans came on my channel and started. All Liverpool fans came on my channel and just started slacking me off and stuff like that. I'm like, hold on a minute. And I'm just laughing because they keep losing and drawing now. So
well, exactly.
It's all views, Jack. So subtle.
Yeah.
Look who's laughing now. You tyre pinching, radio pinching, car pinching, Merseysiders. The lot he is. Good evening. Yeah. So there you go. But me and Jack suddenly were dragged into something without our permission. But we've got our lawyers on it. Don't worry.
Straight away, new subscriber. Thank you.
There you go.
Happy days. Buddy.
It was me, Jack. It wasn't really. I'm already subscribed.
And me. Subscribed.
Right. Thanks for coming on, Jack.
Right, thank you very much. Right. Bye.
Take care. Speak soon, mate.
Mate.
Bye.
Top man. He speaks a lot of sense as well, Jack. He's going to go far on YouTube if he sticks at it, definitely. So we'll help him along the way as best we can as well, because it's people like Jack's channel that we certainly don't mind helping along, doing some collabs with as well, just to help him out, because he's a good kid and he's got a bright future ahead of him. And the fact he'd be helping me with OBS because I'm so bloody stupid. Yes, heartfelt Jack. He's still in the green room, by the way, so he's listening to everything we say. He's going, get off the bed now. Right. Francisco, come on then. Brentford.
I'll go for a 3-0.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I think I'll go for a 3-0, and I'll have Willock getting finally his first goal coming in as a sub. I think, I think Eddie's going to start something different, surprise us again, especially with the rumors of Maxi coming back, the possibility even of Isak, being available. So he might surprise us.
We're not getting a bit carried away again, like we always do, predicting big wins. You know what happens when we predict big wins, don't you? We don't, and then when we don't predict big wins, we get a big win.
I honestly don't see it as a big win. I see it as a good win. And the reason I say that is, and I said it before, one of the things I most appreciate about what Howe has done so far is he built from the back. Mm-hmm. He concentrated initially and in the summer first on defense and goalkeeping, and it shows. We haven't been hammered. Mm-hmm. So that has been the best thing he has done for us. And that's why I go for that nil against us in that regard. I do have a question, though, if you allow me, before I go. Mm-hmm. We've been saying this a lot about, and I saw it, I couldn't participate, but I saw it on the Best 11 show. Everybody keeps saying to, use both Wilson and Isak at the same time. Who the heck are you going to substitute him with?
Well, that's the headache that Eddie Howe's going to have, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think using Isak as a wing is the right thing. I think he is a striker, and I think him and Wilson are going to have to, share the load, which is great for us, great for the team, which is what, the thing that has to be first and foremost is the team, not the player. Mm-hmm. And eventually we will have someone to replace Miggy. But at the moment, I think Miggy has to stay on that wing until proven otherwise.
I agree with you. I just don't think that a Wilson or an Isak playing in that position will do the pressurising that Miggy does. If we haven't got that pressurising, I think we lose a little bit.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
We lose a lot of help for Trippier, which, by the way, I think that's the one position we really, right now, because of what has happened, we have no backup for him right now.
Well, the thing is, look, for me, if Wilson's fit, if Wilson and Isak are the strikers, right? Unless he plays two up front, if Wilson's fit, he starts for me every time.
Yeah.
That's just. I don't think anybody would probably disagree with that because Wilson is deadly, and his goal ratio for being on the pitch is sensational.
And I think giving them a half each is the intelligent thing, especially for Wilson's sake. If we only play Wilson a half and give the other half to Isak.
What was it, 60 minutes, 55, 60 minutes on Saturday? I think that's how Eddie's going to play it, to be honest.
I think Wilson said today, on about his comments attributed to him, were that Eddie had spoke to him and he wasn't going to be playing every week, but when he's when he's ready to go, he'll play every week. He'll be first choice, and Isak will be learning from him. So
there you go.
Yeah,
I don't think we'll see him every week, but it'll be rotation, I think.
Time will tell, my friends. Time will tell. Right, Francisco, thank you very much for joining us with your presence tonight. You've made Rachel a very happy woman again.
Let me know what do you think of the audios, eh?
I will, mate. I was going to say that. I'll speak to you very soon on email, mate.
You got it. Take care, everybody. Good
night, buddy. Good night, mate. How can you not love that man? I mean, he is just a gem.
The voice of Latin America. I love it.
Well, he's our sort of, he may as well be our Latin American correspondent. We've got a Middle East one there, and we've got a French Canadian one there. So, we're doing all right. Right, Ryan?
Oof. I'm going to go 2-0.
2-0?
I'm going to go with ASM and Wilson to score. I think ASM will contribute to both the goals too, because I think he's going to be hungry to come back and not just prove a point to us, but I think prove a point to maybe the France coach as well and the entire role of football, because I think he's coming into his own now, and it's taking a bit of time for him. People were expecting him to instantly improve under Eddie Howe, like a Joe Linton, but I think he's coming into his own. And we saw against Man City, the guy was world class. I think we're seeing that more often now. Already 3 goal contributions this season, when he had 5 or 6 last season. So it's going to be an epic ride with him, and I can't wait for him to come back because we need him desperately.
Absolutely. Right. Well, thank you for coming on, Ryan. We'll see you next week, buddy.
Yeah. Cheers.
Good night.
Ta, buddy.
Say good night to him. He's like 6-7 hours behind us, isn't he? So he's sort of
good morning.
Tea time there. Right, Mr. Middle Eastern correspondent.
Okay, optimistic this week. 2-0 and both Wilson. He'll score both of them.
2-0 and both Wilson.
Yeah, and I'm putting him in my fantasy team this week.
All right. Oh, talk to us about fantasy.
I've had a disaster so far. So.
Have you really?
200. I think I'm 280 something.
That's a real disaster. That is. What a disaster! For fuck's sake! I've bit the bullet this week. I've finally signed Haaland.
Oh right, you've bit the bullet, have you?
He'll stop scoring now. I can guarantee it.
Well, yeah.
I'm just going to leave him as captain all season. He's not going to stop, I think.
No.
Just leave him as captain to the end of the season.
Exactly. Captain every game, no doubt. Right. Thanks for coming on, Roy.
Cheers, mate.
We'll see you soon, mate. Stay safe.
See you next week.
Cheers.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
So there you go. That was the fan forum tonight. Of course, me and Billy will keep our predictions until Thursday. And then you can see what ridiculous ones we're going to come up with, God knows. But just a quick shout out for the show tomorrow night, guys. It is the first one. We are debuting a show tomorrow night, simply called How Are the Lasses? We did say we were going to focus on the women's team and the women's development teams once a week, and we're going to be doing that. That is 7 o'clock tomorrow night. I did advertise it at 7:30, but it's actually 7. So we're going to obviously look how the girls got on at the weekend, look at the forthcoming fixtures, and talk about the league and where we see them going, and obviously getting some guests on from time to time on the shows as well, which we're really looking forward to. So really looking forward to that show tomorrow night. So do join us for that, because I'm sure a lot of them will be watching, and then if we've got good figures, that can only bode well for the future. So thank you very much in advance for that. But we will bid you farewell for now. If there's any news tomorrow breaking from Newcastle, of course, you'll hear it first right here on the Toon Review. But until tomorrow night, guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you to the Mod Squad. Thank you to all the super chatters. Thank you to everybody. Cheers, Billy, for your company tonight. And we will see you tomorrow. Good night.
We're the last.